Guys, I wanted to do a quick tutorial on how mockups work in Photoshop in case you missed class the day that we did the live demo. So anytime you download any mockup for Photoshop, you'll notice in the layers panel that everything should be labeled. If it's not, it's a bad mockup file, but you can always hit this eye icon to find out what belongs to what, basically. So if I were to expand the mock here, this is kind of just how some of these shadows in the bag picture were set up for you to have a mock-up here, but a lot of times what you're looking for is what we call a smart object, and that's this little icon. Sorry, I'm in my layers over here. This little icon right here. And then if you hover over it, smart object thumbnail pops up. This one pops up as well. If I were to turn this off or on, nothing really happens to this. This is for a logo of some sort. Our design is this one right here. So if you were to double click on this smart object, a new file opens up within Photoshop, and this is where your design actually goes. And you'll notice, because I'm trying to switch these, it's the same design we have. Okay, but all the design happens here and not so much in the mockup file. So I'll show you an example here. If I were to create a new layer and delete this one here, or I can actually just delete the placeholder. Yeah, okay. And let's say I start putting my design here. You're going to go to File, Save, not Save As. This is just a regular Save As file. File, Save, and you come up over here, and you'll notice that it updates in the actual mockup file too. So this is how we work with non-destructive editing. If you change your mind letter on the design, you can, and let's say I close this, you can come back, double click right here, and then make any changes on this file. You just have to hit save for it to update in the mockup file over here. Okay, so that's a simple, friendly, working mockup. I'm gonna hit close on these, and I'm gonna hit don't save. Right. A more intense or more complicated one, you'll notice that they'll have way more layers and then folders involved. Oopsie. So I recommend that you go in here and you expand everything else, but the concept is still the same. So let's go into our background folder here, and you'll notice again, this is labeled place your background, and there's a smart object right here. You also have the option to change the color, background color manually here, but in case you do have a pattern of some sort, I'm going to double click here to open up this file, and let's pretend this is, I don't know, my taco business's pattern. And I want you guys to, during the live demo, you're kind of working with these mock-ups just to see them in live time. But let's say this is my background here, and you know what, let's actually finish this up. Probably should have thought about this. Alright, so let's pretend I'm done. I'm going to hit save. You can also import things from Illustrator, so if you were to make your backgrounds in Illustrator, you can bring them over here. But you'll notice that the background gets updated over here once you hit save. Again, same thing we went over in the simple tote bag mockup. It gets a little bit more complicated when you're working with stuff like this now, because everything's broken up into different pieces. Oops, I'm going to hit escape on that. So I like to kind of hide stuff that I might not be working on at the moment. so that I don't get confused with all of the different layers. So these are very nice because they're labeled for you completely. So the cup, I just hide it and it's out of the way. Burger wrapper, so let's expand that one. And let's double click on this place logo right here. Again, let's do a smiley face. Let's pretend this is my logo. File, save, and it'll pop up here. The smart object, so I can double click to open this one now too, and I'm not entirely sure if this is the actual wrapping paper, but let's say that it is. I'm actually just going to do a solid color to test it. File, save. Yeah, that's the actual wrapping color. So this is basically the gist of how smart objects work, and you always want to find good mock-ups. This is how you know it's a good mock-up, because everything is labeled for you, so it's easier to work with. If you do download one that you like and it's not organized as well, it's up to you to go in there and label everything, but you will need to know how mock-ups work for your final project. If you have any questions, let me know.